Hey, wrestling fans. Welcome to another live stream from 360 Wrestling Podcast right here on YouTube. Like I said last night on the podcast, 360 Wrestling Fanatic, I'm here tonight doing the live stream. And I just want to say first, you can check out the episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic from this past week, recapping the Battleground pay-per-view, Raw, SmackDown Live, 205 Live, Lucha Underground, NXT, GFW, Impact Wrestling. All of those shows were recapped on 360 Wrestling Fanatic this week, and you can check them out by going to the official Facebook page of 360 Wrestling Podcast or the Twitter at 360 Wrestling Pod. Or if you want, you can follow my Twitter at Lance360Pod. You can find links there to all the episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic or any podcast that I do, any live stream that I do, anything I do, you can find on those social media outlets. Official of 360 Wrestling Podcasts. And thanks for tuning in right now to this live stream. Now, before I get started, I just want to mention real quick, unfortunately, there was some sad news. The passing of Stone Cold Steve Austin's dog, Hershey the Wonder Dog. And if you've ever listened to the Steve Austin Show podcast, I'm sure you're familiar with Hershey. Uh, Austin has had her for over a decade, I believe, what I read. It's very unfortunate, but unfortunately, Hershey the Wonder Dog has passed away. And also, right now, just as I was getting ready to start the chat, I noticed that the Royal Rumble from 2016 is airing on the WWE Network right now. And just started right now is the tables match. Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, which that Royal Rumble now is most famous for the WWE debut. You can call it a debut. I don't think that metal match counts really, but the WWE debut of AJ Styles in the Royal Rumble. It was the one where Roman Reigns had to defend the WWE Championship in the Royal Rumble. Now, like I said, Owens and Ambrose in the tables match, or it was a street fight. Maybe it wasn't a tables match. Maybe it was a street fight or no hold barred. I don't remember. But before the Royal Rumble started on the network, was watching New Japan on Access Tonight, which featured Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada from last year's G1 Climax Tournament 26, which was a very good match, which saw Hiroshi Tanahashi go over in advance in the tournament. And speaking of the G127 is currently going on right now, and at night 9 tomorrow, hopefully everyone who watches this video has been keeping up with the G1 this year. And night 8, very good matches, I should say. And another good one that took place the other day was Okada and Sanada. Very good match. But there's been quite a few matches which have taken place in the tournament so far. There's been guys like, of course, guys that, of course, you know are going to have good matches, like your Okadas and your Tanahashis, Kenny Omega, Sanada, Michael Elgin. Just at night 8 the other day, Kenny Omega and Michael Elgin had a very good match. And so far, Michael Elgin is another one who has been very impressive in the tournament. And not just this year's G1, but other matches he has had in New Japan Pro Wrestling has been very impressive. Michael Elgin doing pretty good for himself. And so that is the G1. And got to talk a little bit about some local wrestling, which is taking place tomorrow night during the day. The Michigan Comic Expo, I believe it's called, taking place in Wyandotte, Michigan at the Yak Arena, which will feature Ron Simmons, WWE Hall of Famer, one half of the APA, will be there. Can go get an autograph, photo op from him. And he will be there. Also, WWE Superstar European Champion, TNA Superstar D'Lo Brown will be there also. And unfortunately, there was a couple cancellations. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, unfortunately, what I've seen is due to health concerns, but I have seen that he has sent some autographed pictures. So there will be some autographs there of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and also former Mr. Money in the Bank, WWE Superstar, TNA. I saw yesterday, I believe it was, canceled. Not sure what the reason is for the cancellation. What I've read though is there was no explanation or reason for the cancellation. So Mr. Anderson will not be there, but still should be a very good show. You got Ron Simmons, D'Lo Brown, and then later that night you have Attack at the Yak 2, of course featuring who I already mentioned, and you have Sabu. Yeah, Idris Abraham, who has been participating in the Super X Cup on GFW Impact Wrestling as of late, and GFW star Mahabali Shira will be taking on Shane Douglas. And you got Caleb Stills, Jamie Cox, Sweet Willie Watts, all appearing on this show tomorrow night in Wyandotte, Michigan at the Yak Arena. plus Hakeem Zayn, Joe Coleman, the Monroes, DBA and MM3, Mark Joka, and the Mysterious Movado, Jay Maynard, Johnny Devine, GQ Gavin Quinn. Look at all the talent that will be on that show. That is going to be a stacked show tomorrow. First, during the day, you got the Michigan Comic Book Expo at the Yak Arena. Then later that night, you got some great wrestling action. Attack at the Yak 2 from XICW. And then also Sunday night, XICW presents Body Slam Childhood Cancer, Clinton Township at the Imperial House, which is for a very good cause to support childhood cancer. And tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for kids 12 and under. Tickets are on sale now at xicwdetroit.com, and you can also follow XICW on Facebook as well to find out more info for that show, which is, like I said, for a very great cause. And also, I talked about this a little bit on 360 Wrestling Fanatic last night about the supposed incident there was between Braun Strowman and Karen Jarrett. What I first read about it is apparently he was rude to her, maybe swore at her, and then when she got mad and told him that her son, who she was trying to get an autograph for, was Kurt Angle's son, or Kurt Angle was the father of her son, that he started apologizing and got on his knees and started begging her not to tell Kurt what he said and that he wouldn't sign the autograph. But now, actually, what I'm reading is that that was kind of exaggerated a little bit. That what he said at first was when she asked for the autograph, that he just said, not at the moment. And then she walked off, and then somebody came back and got her. And I think they asked him to apologize to her, and he did. And I think they posed for a picture, and that was it. But as far as what I've read today, is that it wasn't quite as big of a deal as it was first reported on. Nothing really that much happened. But you can't always believe what you read in some reports that are on the internet. And sometimes exaggerated, blown out of proportion, and who knows. And also tomorrow night, right here in Detroit, Michigan, another big show, the final WWE event, which will be taking place at Joe Louis Arena. And if you're going to that show, I'm sure you probably heard by now, but in case you haven't, it was originally advertised that Brock Lesnar, yes, Brock Lesnar appearing on a SmackDown house show, supposed to be in a match against Baron Corbin. But now that match has been changed to a match for the Universal Championship. But it will be Brock Lesnar taking on Samoa Joe at the Joe Louis Arena. And I have to admit, unfortunately, I won't be able to make the show, but that does sound like a better match between Lesnar and Corbin. Not quite sure how that match would have went, but it would have been kind of interesting to see that match, though, how Corbin and Lesnar would have worked together, but who knows? Maybe they'll do it somewhere else on a house show, and you never know. Maybe sometime down the line they'll do it on a pay-per-view. You never know. That could happen. Lesnar versus Corbin. And also other matches that have been advertised for that house show are John Cena taking on Rusev, and the match I'm guessing might be the main event unless you never know, maybe they'll put Lesnar and Joe as the main event, but for the WWE Championship, it will be Orton challenging Jinder Mahal, which luckily is not a Punjabi prison match like Battleground. Obviously, they're not going to do that on a house show, but should be a decent match. And like I said, this will be the final show WWE puts on at Joe Louis Arena. I wish that I could make this show definitely, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like I will be able to be there. I'm curious though to see when will be the first time that WWE runs at the new Little Caesars Arena. Hopefully, it'll at least be a TV, either Raw or SmackDown Live or a pay per view for the first show there. Hopefully. But I'm sure I've always been a fan of house shows actually. I know a lot of people they rather go to either TV taping or a pay-per-view live. They think just a house show, nothing that big, nothing that special. But you never know. Just a few weeks or so ago, AJ Styles went over Kevin Owens and won the United States Championship. Lost it back to him at Battleground and then won it back from him on SmackDown Live this week. So you never know what's going to happen. And even if nothing really exciting like a title change happens on the show, they usually do have pretty good matches on them, or at least in my opinion. And now some news. Hulu made a mistake apparently and were on an ad for SmackDown. They put CM Punk on the picture. And now it looks like WWE has changed Elias Sampson's name a little bit to just Elias. And WWE Hall of Famer, pro wrestling legend, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race has given an update on his health. A little while back, he had a fall and broke both of his legs in June. And he says, right now, it's the legs that are bothering me. I'm sitting here now with two legs that aren't very good. They're en route to recovery, and I'm right along with them. In a little amount of time, I'll be walking again. So that is good news to hear about a legend in the wrestling business. Hopefully, he will recover soon, and it'll be a quick, speedy recovery for Harley Race. And Shawn Michaels recently was at the Performance Center doing some guest training, I guess, and he has the new movie out, of course, with Willie Nelson. I think it's called Pure Country, Pure Heart. I think that's what it's called. Not sure though, but I think that's the name of it. Also, so a little bit of news on GFW Impact Wrestling. They have canceled one of the house shows they have coming up. Let's see. It's the one for August 6th. That has been canceled. It says was due to unforeseen circumstances and logistical challenges. And fans that have bought tickets to the show will be able to get refunds, but the other ones are still on and will take place. And but that is the only one canceled though. And there is a new championship match. Takeover 3 Brooklyn, or Takeover Brooklyn 3, I think they're calling it. Sorry about that. Which I talked about on 360 Wrestling Fanatic last night. William Regal made the NXT Women's Championship match. Asuka will be defending once again against Ember Moon, taking place at Takeover Brooklyn 3. So that'll be, I think, a good one. Their last one between Moon and Asuka was pretty good, but I don't think they're gonna take the title off of Asuka just yet. I think she's gonna have it for at least a little bit longer, and but you never know. I wouldn't mind seeing Ember Moon get the title. I know a lot of people. If you listen to the podcast, What's Next with Jason Agnew, and they don't like the character of Ember Moon, but I'm actually a fan of Ember Moon, to be honest myself. And let's see here. John Cena and Samoa Joe apparently will go one-on-one at a WWE live event. And that event is taking place August 27th, being advertised. This will be their first one-on-one match in WWE. It'll be at the house show at the BCS Arena. That sounds interesting, definitely. And I guess there's a Twitter board right now with Lance Storm and Kenny Omega. I think Storm made a tweet where he was critical about the match between Okada and Yano in the G1. I know that he's not a fan of comedy or anything like that in wrestling. But like he always used to say in WCW, if I can be serious for a minute. Let's see if there's any more news to talk about here. And Mick Foley has said that he sees tons of potential in Becky Lynch. And I have to say that I agree with him. I am a big fan of Becky Lynch, actually. I think not that they have been using her bad or anything like that, but I think they could be using her better and I think she could. I don't want to be like those fans and complain about who they're not pushing or who they are pushing, but I think Becky Lynch definitely deserves more of a push. And I think that's all the news. And I don't think I've talked about this yet on 360 Wrestling Fanatic. But a few days ago, Magnus is now gone from GFW. And another release from the company, Davey Richards, is gone from the company as well. So who knows what's next for him? Could possibly return to Ring of Honor, or could see him on NXT or anywhere. Who knows? But Davey Richards is gone from GFW Impact Wrestling. And that's all for this live stream. Hope to have more soon coming up in the future. And real quick, like always, want to remind everybody you can like 360 Wrestling Podcast on Facebook and follow on Twitter at 360 Wrestling Pod. And Instagram is 360 Wrestling Podcast. Clash Wrestling 360. You want to stay tuned to that on Facebook, because August 26th, about just a month away, Clash 150 taking place at the Taylortown Trade Center. History-making event, and it is one you do not want to miss. Clash 150 at the Taylortown Trade Center in Taylor, Michigan. Stay tuned for more updates and hopefully some match announcements coming soon. Also, tickets should be available soon at ClashWrestling.com. And also, you can support 360 Wrestling Podcasts any way you can on the Patreon. I'll be doing blogs, extra podcasts on there. So feel free to help out any way you can. And those will be Patreon exclusives for anybody that helps out. And hope to be back soon with more live streams here. And pay attention to the social media for more episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic and Clash Wrestling 360. And here on YouTube for when I'm going to do a live stream or any other thing. The best way is to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you know when I am live or when I post a new video. And please, if you can, feel free to like the videos and comment on them. Anything you want, just comment. But that's all for this live stream. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again real soon.